Hello, Guardians. It is Ebontis here. It is March 5th, and we are over in the European Dead Zone down at the Winding Cove. And Zur has arrived as usual, a little bit late, like 2 or 3 minutes after he's supposed to be here, but he's here. So we're going to go up to his little cliff spot and see what he's selling this week. Maybe he's got some good rolls, maybe he's got some good stats. Also, if you guys like Destiny lore, we are going to be having Mylan Games joining us on the podcast tomorrow night. So that'll be Saturday, March 6th, and that'll be at 7:30 Eastern Time. A little more about that at the end. Alrighty, so of course your exotic Engram, if you're missing anything or just want a decent stat roll on a random piece of armor for your class, go ahead and drop one in here. Now let's see what his inventory is this week. First weapon, probably the one that's broken the game the most over the years, Telesto. It's a cool fusion rifle though, so if you don't have it, buy it, but it has been around for a while, so I'd imagine most of you do have it. The Catalyst is more available now though, which is very cool. So found in Lost Sectors on Legend or Master difficulty, so you can get this Catalyst now. It used to come from one of the Leviathan raids. The Catalyst makes it pretty cool. But your perk here is fusion projectiles attach and detonate with a delayed void blast. So the big thing about those fusion rifles typically have range fall off and they, kind of spread out and don't have quite the effect farther away. Well, whenever they get where they're going, they're still going to explode with full power. So there's just a delayed reaction, but they're still quite cool. Also, you've got Harbinger's Pulse. Multi-kills with this weapon immediately reload your equipped kinetic and energy weapons from reserves. So I don't think this is one that a lot of people tend to turn to frequently for stuff, but if there's a void burn on things, if you need to get some fusion rifle kills with for bounties or anything, it's still a fun weapon to use, and I'm sure it's still got some good spots, but off the top of my head, I just don't quite remember what they are. Overall, if you don't have it, buy it, and now the fact that you can get the Catalyst, it can get even better. For the hunters, we've got the Foetracer. This is more of a PvP helmet. You visually mark targeted enemies. You deal more damage to low health marked enemies. So this is mostly for PvP to mark enemies that you can see. Maybe they hide back around the corner, see if they come back out. And then when they get low, you'll be kind of finishing them off a little bit quicker. I don't think you need to mark a whole lot of enemies in PvE encounters. You're not really like, where'd he go? I think you'll probably figure out where he's at. But in PvP, this one definitely has some potential. And if nothing else, might help you keep track of enemies, see where they go, try and learn player patterns, things like that. Stat roll on this one is not terrible. You got 16 in recovery, which recovery is always good for PvP. 11 mobility, not bad for a hunter. 12 discipline, 10 intellect, not bad for a 63 stat roll. It's not as spiky as I'm sure some people would like in the stat distribution, but decent recovery, intellect, mobility, not too shabby for a hunter. All right, for the Titans, we've got the Mark 44 stand-asides. Grants an overshield when you're sprinting at full health with Seismic Strike, Hammer Strike, and Shield Bash equipped and charged. So if you have your shoulder charge ability for each one of the subclasses, and you have it up when you're running, you will get an overshield after a couple seconds. Hits with these abilities recharge a portion of your melee energy. Typically in PvP, if you shoulder charge with these, you tend to get your shoulder charge right back, so fairly powerful. So if you like shoulder charges, try them out. You're probably going to have a whole lot of fun and probably tick a few people off, but that's how Destiny works sometimes, so have some fun. As for the stat rolls, this is as, vanilla even distribution as you can get. At least it's 62, so it's not like a 59, which I feel like I saw from Zur recently, or worse. But 11, 10, 10, 12, 10, 9. Just dead even down the road. You got a little bit of everything. Overall, if you need a balanced stat roll here, if you masterwork this one, I mean, guess what? You get a little bit more in everything. So overall, not too shabby. If you like shoulder chargers, this is your jam. Pick it up, have fun, smashing people with your knees. Very cool. Finally, for the Warlocks, we've got Phoenix Protocol. Kills and assists you make while standing in your Well of Radiance return super energy. Now, all of these, quote, return super energy exotics got a bit nerfed, but they're still going to return up to a cap of 50%, which is still never a bad thing depending on the activity you're in. Having, if you get a bunch of kills in your Well of Radiance and then you get half of it back, it comes back a lot quicker, use it again. Obviously, it's a good cycle to be in. As for the stats, you've got 16 mobility, which is probably the most throwaway stat on this one. You do have 16 discipline, 11 intellect. You're low on recovery. Overall, the stat roll on this one, I would say, is not great, just because high mobility, low recovery, pretty much the opposite you want for a Warlock. Discipline and intellect aren't bad for a Warlock, but still the top section doesn't look great. If yours is worse, obviously, add this to your collection, get a little better stat roll, but you might have a better stat roll in this, you just might want to check. If you don't have this as a Warlock, you should at least put it somewhere in your arsenal, just to have in case you need it. Other than that, stat roll on this one, not exactly a great one this week. And that does wrap up Xur for this week. So as I said, the podcast for The Last Word, we're going to have it on Saturday night. So it's going to be March 6th at 7:30 Eastern Time. It will be right here on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Ebontis. So you guys can catch that one live. We're going to have Mylan Games, the lore master from Down Under. Great guy and great time to chat between the Deepstone raid that they deep dove into, or the Deepstone Crypt deep dive that they went into. All the stuff going on with the Glycon mission and Caiatl. Cool time to talk about all the lore we've got going on in Destiny, so definitely tune in for that one. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoy the video, drop a like below, leave a comment if you got questions, subscribe if you're new, and also hit that alert bell. You'll see new videos and when I go live or streaming on YouTube as well. You'll find me on Twitter doing a whole bunch of random stuff. Other than that, see you guys soon. Have a good one.